Ladies, my name is Azalea Dawn, and this is The Feminine Mystery. Welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about elegance in the kitchen and everything you need to surprise and delight your guests the next time that you have somebody over to cook for them. Now, the reason that I thought that this would be a great video is because cooking creates an opportunity that is very unique in order for you to really build your relationships with other people. There's nothing quite like inviting somebody into your home for a meal, especially a home-cooked meal, to build a stronger relationship with them. It's better than going out to eat. It's better than treating them to lunch somewhere. It's just another level of personal to really invite somebody into your home to experience your personal presence, and then another gesture on top of that to actually prepare a meal for them, handmade all by you. And this is also a great skill for those of you who are looking to sort of add value in the marriage market, right? For those of you who are looking to really add to your skill set in a way that makes it more practical for somebody to choose you over somebody else, right? When you're looking at, all of these affluent men and thinking about ways that you can beat the competition, being able to be a wonderful host, a wonderful hostess, and when you welcome people into your home is going to be an asset that you can have not just in the dating stage, but also in the marriage stage when it comes to maintaining your relationship. Being able to be an elegant hostess in your home as a married couple is a skill that's going to take you a long way. So I have a few tips on how to help you do that and things that you can work on today just to start to implement this skill set a little more into your life. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, my first tip for you is to make cooking at home something that you actually enjoy doing, right? So this is all about, putting in those 1,000 hours to get good at something. You want to start to practice cooking at home. A lot of people, especially in the United States, we do a combination of cooking quick and easy meals for ourselves and eating out, and that's the way that most people get their food needs met. So we have like a huge fast food culture here in the United States where people love to go to like Wendy's, McDonald's, all sorts of fast food restaurants in order to get like quick and easy meals. If you need breakfast, you go to Taco Bell. If you want, something that is like really hearty in the afternoon, you can go to Burger King. That's the kind of food culture that we live in. But you want to start to differentiate yourself by cooking more at home. Even if this is you just getting started doing this for the first time, cooking for yourself at home is going to really be the thing that allows you to control your diet more, right? Because you start to become the person who is responsible for what you put into your food. Nobody gets to decide how much butter or fat or oil goes into something except you, which is going to help you save on calories and eat healthier if you have, a health food goal or something of that nature. But it's also going to allow you to start to learn more about food and learn about, creating food that is really good, that tastes good, that is, presented well, etc., etc. So practice makes perfect, and you really just want to make the process of cooking something that you really want to do in your free time instead of like a burden that you just don't have time for. So if that means something like creating an ambiance and an atmosphere in your home, in your kitchen, if it means organizing in a certain way, getting, nice storage containers that are like glass instead of plastic, or going for utensils that are like stainless steel instead of, whatever like cheap silicone material it's currently at like Walmart, right? You want to like start to elevate and upgrade the equipment that you're using so that you look forward to using it. And you also want to think about just creating a general atmosphere that's going to be pleasing to you, right? Having an apron, having a playlist for you to cook and playing some gentle music for yourself. Maybe you can, light a candle somewhere nearby and just like create like a mood and an atmosphere for yourself to really like get into the mode of cooking. And, also invest in, like cooking programs, cookbooks, all that jazz. You just want to start to get yourself into the mood where cooking is something that is enjoyable for you to do so that you spend more time doing it. And as a byproduct of spending more time in the kitchen, you're going to get better at this. You're going to start to be able to do more in the kitchen, and you're going to start to be able to do things more comfortably, right? A 1% improvement every day at the end of a year is a 365% improvement. So don't, underestimate the power of just cooking like one simple meal for yourself. Now, my second bit of advice here is to have actual proper clothing, right, that you're going to wear when you're cooking. Now, this might seem like a little bit of like an extra detail. You might be thinking, oh, why does it matter what I'm wearing when I'm literally like cooking in the kitchen? And you have to start to think about like what you're going to wear when you have somebody over with you cooking, right? Like not necessarily having them in the kitchen, but like when you're receiving them into your home, maybe you have to go into the kitchen and prepare a little something, like maybe you have like a little like a friend that you've met and you want to build your relationship with them by saying like, hey, like come over to my home and I will cook for you and we will have a meal together, right? Like you want to think about that sort of thing and what's really going to go on in that setting, because elegance is really all about the details. It's about doing the things that other people either don't think about doing or don't care to do. And when you have somebody over in your home, the thing that you have to realize is that you are the entertainment, you are the spectacle, you are the thing that is going to be drawing someone's attention, right? People are naturally like very curious. They don't want to, be sequestered in another room while you are in the kitchen preparing food and just like left alone in your home unsupervised. Like people who aren't like, I don't know, like random thieves or something, like they don't really want that. Like they want to be with you. They want to sit with you while you're in the kitchen. They want to speak to you. They want to watch you and see what you're doing, and they want to see like how you're operating in there. And you have to realize that that's going to be a social event. So you want to make sure that you look the part when you're cooking in the kitchen, especially when you have a guest over, especially when you live with maybe like family or friends or a partner, like something like that. You want to make sure that you look good when you're in there so that when people like come and see you, you look the part. So some outfits that you might want to consider are going to be like more in the theme of loungewear, maybe having like linen dresses with nice aprons, that you can wear while you're in the kitchen so that they can be easily washed. Maybe you want to wear something like, knitwear, which is going to be obviously a little bit more high maintenance, but pairing it with an apron will probably help you. And it creates like a very like luxurious, like home loungewear feel. And honestly, even like jeans and just, like a nice like knit top or a camisole and a cardigan, I think that is like perfectly acceptable in this scenario. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're being safe and that you're pulling your sleeves back if you're going to be standing near a stove. Or just take the cardigan off altogether. But like, you just want to make sure that you look nice, you look presentable, you look like somebody is supposed to be seeing you doing what you're doing, and taking care of your appearance, going that extra mile to make sure that you look nice so that you're proud to have somebody watching you in this moment. That's going to go a long way. So I'm not going to say like, oh, you have to like have like a full face of like makeup on when you're in your own house, like doing a kindness for somebody. That is ultimately up to you. But I would say that you want to make sure that you're presentable in this moment and that you actually have something to wear that you feel comfortable wearing into the kitchen and then sitting down to have a meal in that outfit, right? So make sure that you're looking your best when you're in the kitchen too. Now, my third piece of advice is in the same vein as my second piece of advice, but it is to have a proper place to seat your guest while you are cooking. Now, you, again, want to think about what it's really going to be like if you've invited somebody over to your home to have a meal, or you're going to cook for them or something of that nature. When they come in, they need a place to sit. And you don't want to have it be such as somebody either has to stand or they have to like put their butt on your counter. That's not very sanitary. And it's not exactly like something that, everybody is going to feel comfortable doing. They don't want to like hop up on like a counter and like sit down or be like leaning and again, like putting their butt on things in your kitchen. So you want to make sure that you have seating that is prepared so that you can actually receive people in your home and they can still like see you and interact with you while you're in the kitchen. So if that means that you have to invest in, like seating around your kitchen island, I think that that's always a good idea. The kitchen is the heart of the home, and often when people enter somebody else's home, everybody somehow like winds up in the kitchen. People just feel very comfortable there. They feel like it's an appropriate place to, sit there and, as they say, have kitchen table talk. So you want to make sure that you have seating there if possible. If you have like a much, like, let's say like you're very early in your level up and you have like a small apartment to work with, then you want to think about getting seating, like a little, like a dining table set. Like you can get them at all price points. You can get them incredibly cheap, even on Amazon, and they can still look very nice. It's just about the thought, like keeping it simple, keeping it very minimal and very open. In that case, and if you have, like a little bit more to invest, maybe you can get like a small round table and like proper seating and just place it where somebody can be sitting at that table, but they can still see you in your kitchen and interact with you as you're preparing their food for them. So that's the kind of thing that you want to think about. Make sure that you have a place for people to actually be in your home when you are receiving them into your home as you're cooking for them. Make sure that they're comfortable, that they have somewhere to sit, and that place where they're sitting is somewhere where they can still, see you, they can see what you're doing, they can interact with you, they can keep up a conversation with you, and where most importantly, they feel comfortable. They feel like they can, put their things down and just relax in that place. You don't want to, have people kind of like put out by, being received into your home. The fourth thing that you want to keep in mind is to learn to elevate simple dishes for more of a wow factor. Now, you might find yourself in a position where you're thinking like, oh, okay, well, all of this is great, but I don't really know how to cook. I can't cook anything. If you're not like an expert chef, then start simple. Start with things that everybody knows how to cook and just elevate it from there. Now, something that was on my mind, I was listening to actually Emrata's podcast, if you know who that is, Emily Ratajkowski, a beautiful woman model who is basically famous for how pretty she is, and she is also a podcaster who has very like deep, very like compelling conversation, on those podcasts, so definitely recommend it. But one of the things that she was talking about is how she is now starting to date after, ending a previous relationship, and she's on the apps and everything, and she had someone that she knows over to ask about her first date experiences, and this woman talks about, how basically she fell for I don't think that she understands it's a scam, but elegant ladies, like here we understand that this is very much a scam. A man who's just like, oh, like just come over to my house and I'm gonna cook for you and that'll be our first date together. So this girl is like really excited. She thinks that it's romantic. She's like, oh, he's gonna like cook for me in his home. So she gets all dolled up and goes over there, and she recounts like the feeling of like horror as like this man prepares like rudimentary spaghetti for her and like store-bought spaghetti, and he tops it with like marinara sauce and like Kraft Mexican cheese, and then like he serves that spaghetti to her, and his home is filthy. He is, the food is not looking good. It's just not impressive whatsoever. And she recounts like what a horrifying experience that is. And this is what I don't want you ladies to go through. Like, you don't want to, first and foremost, never go to a date in a man's home like for the first date. He should be taking you out and spending money on you. But if I have to tell you that, you're probably not on the right channel. Now, as far as what it is that this has to do with you in this instance, right, you want to learn how to elevate very simple things so that you're not caught up in that kind of trap, because your cooking skills are going to be something that people are definitely judging you on. It's more than, like if you know how to, prepare like the best like French cuisine, like people understand that you didn't go to culinary school. Nobody is expecting you to be a chef, but you want to be able to, like be a cut above just rudimentary kitchen skills. So you want to take something, for example, like a pasta, which anybody can make. You can throw, like the pasta in boiling water, put some marinara sauce on it and call it a meal. Anybody can do that. And you want to learn how to elevate that. For example, with pasta, you want to start to learn how to make, for example, like a bechamel sauce, right? Where you are combining like white wine or milk and butter, and cheeses to create like a very rich rich sauce for your pasta. If you want to elevate it even further, you can start to experiment with grating fresh cheese to put on your pasta and experimenting with more upscale fine cheeses, because again, you're going to have somebody who's in your home. They're watching what you do. They're watching how you prepare your food. So when you're taking, like a fresh block of like a very, like unusual or expensive cheese and grating that's upgrading and elevating the experience. It's like, oh, what is this? What is this like? How is this going to taste? What have you selected for me? Right? It adds like another layer of sophistication to that. Instead of just using things like store-bought breads, like, generic, just bread that you buy at like a Walmart or something, maybe go for something like a baguette that's freshly made from a bakery near you and start to experiment with that. Just elevate the bread that you're using. And then when it comes to the protein that you're selecting, right, you can either experiment with, having different proteins that you incorporate. Maybe you are a fan of, like adding shrimp into pasta, or you like to add, like shrimp and asparagus. You like to add things like chicken or steak or some combination of proteins. Like experimenting with the protein that you incorporate into a pasta is another way to elevate it. And then finally, just, we get to the wine pairing, where you are, again, elevating that experience by being deliberate and intentional with the wine that you choose to pair with the pasta that you're serving and how you're presenting all of that. So you've taken something like pasta, which can either be, like very, very bad, just depending on the kind of person who's making it, or very, very good, very impressive, right? And that's what you want to start to think about with all of the recipes that you're making. How can you elevate this and take it to the next level? You may not be like a French, like a French chef, but you can definitely learn a thing or two that's going to help you like upgrade and elevate the food that you make for other people. And you can do that in the best way by starting to look for the best quality ingredients that you can find, look for the most interesting ingredients that you can incorporate into your food, and really being intentional about like what it is that you select and refining that as you go on based on what's available to you and what's in your budget. I think that elevating everyday foods is definitely something that you should consider. Now, the final thing you want to do here is pay attention to your presentation. And this is more important than I think that most of us really give credit for. But there's a lot of options here. Now, first and foremost, when you think about fine presentation, you're probably somebody who has a very elegant sense of style if you're on this channel. And one thing that you want to start to think about is your personal style. Maybe traditional elegance isn't for you, right? Obviously the gold standard is Hermes fine china, which is when you're served, food on Hermes tableware. This is somebody who is very, very rich and they really want you to know, but obviously not everybody is Gwyneth Paltrow in her Montecito mansion with this entire array of Hermes fine china available for them. Most people don't have those kinds of financial resources. So you want to start to think about other things that are really going to incorporate your personal style, what you think looks good, because maybe that sort of style just isn't for you at the end of the day, right? So if you don't have that sort of style, maybe something more rustic is your favorite, and you can go for that look of white plates, wooden accents, all of that, candles, linen, all of that very rustic looking stuff is a great way to go as far as setting a table and presenting food in a way that is very appetizing. If you maybe aren't the rustic type, maybe you're a bit more glamorous and you like things like crystal, right? So you want to go for things like Baccarat crystal or Tiffany crystal, or just a generic crystal that's still, rock cut and good quality, and obviously get as lead free as you can. just for your health. But yeah, like maybe you have like a more glamour style where like crystal is something that you like. And finally, maybe neither of those are for you and you have more of like an exotic style and you like things that are like Italian, like Mediterranean. So you want to go for, like plates and dishware that are like bright and colorful and really remind you of like being in like Sicily or Tuscany or, like Turkey or somewhere like around the Mediterranean where they have these sort of styles of dishes and they serve food on them. And it's just, like a very unique sense of style that you can give and provide. But you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to the way that you're presenting your food, because this is really a great way for you to be able to demonstrate the way that you live, demonstrate your attention to detail and the kind of person you are. Like your attention to detail, your attention to caring for the needs of other people, and just really being elegant in that way. So this is all stuff for you to think about and really incorporate into the next time that you prepare a meal for other people in your home. And hopefully this really empowers you to feel like you're able to start to invite people into your home and prepare meals for them, because that's going to be something that really helps you build relationships with other people. And relationships are so important for your level up journey, because it's going to be all about who you know in order to make sure that you have access to quality men for dating and marriage. So hopefully you found this helpful, and if you have, please like and subscribe. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel if you're interested in elegance, affluence, femininity, and everything you need to attract the right masculine provider for you. This has been the Feminine Mystery, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.